His days are ended. He said, the lawyers will be running the game. And this is what you get. And what's it mean to the fan? I think it means a lot, because you have to have somebody that understands the business. And I think we've lost that. A lot of great people, but the leadership of all of these leagues, it's about television contracts, it's about how many products we can sell. And I'm not trying to be overly purist. I'm just saying, you the consumer, I mean, I don't want to hear one more time why somebody should buy a Chicago Bears jersey for his wife. And that's, believe me, if you walked into the league office, the NFL league office, and you saw that what was in there, it's every Ivy League guy out of a job looking to how to promote the next jersey or this. You never, right, Ron? No. You never hear the game or what would be good for the game. All you hear, and the only reason you've got this whole thing now with the offense and the defense being penalized is basically to say, forget the rule, this is good for TV. I don't know whether it is or not, because some of the greatest games I've ever seen in this era or any other era, some of them were 20-17, 13-10, because you saw great running, you saw tense, tight defense. And the athletes are much better today. There were great athletes, they're much better. But the direction of it, and then the final thing is, somebody's got to dot in, so you call the play into the linebacker. And as great as Brady is, and I've always maintained, and we talk about this in the book, Tom Brady doesn't need Josh McDaniels calling in those plays. And I think the great robbery, when we go back and rate the quarterbacks, with the exception of Brady, they never called a play. Think about this, the greatest of modern times, Tom Brady, never called a play in his life. Never from high school to college to today. And yet the quarterback position is the most important position in all of sports. Thinking, leadership, being able to check off at the line of scrimmage, understanding the play, understanding the next thing is, and I've got some coach over there calling it in, and listen to the shows afterwards. You're all involved with it. And what are the shows about? Boy, that McDaniels made a great call. I'm saying, Jesus Christ, what about Brady?
Well, what does Brady wear on his wrist then? But what is that telling him when he...
That has all their... That's their game plan for that week. That's all the plays that they have. And sometimes he'll...
Right.
You know, a lot of times he's checking out to his own sort of
Only time I ever saw it is when we lost, and this is a point about this deal getting rid of Garoppolo and bringing Rent-A-Truck in, is that basically when you look at what's happened here, we lost, and this is the warning. Brady, the hit goes down. We lost Unitas and Gary Quazzo as backup, who was really good, in 1 week, both out. And we ended up with Tom Matty playing in one of the great games at that time. A game that we should have won, but they missed the field goal against the Packers to go again to the championship game. Tom Matty had the plays on his wrist, and we almost stole the championship with it. And I thought, that's the last of that. Now everybody's got one of these things. Would somebody please tell me that they're not smart enough that they have to do this crap and then take this in from the thing? Tell them the story about the comeback in the Super Bowl against Atlanta when Josh McDaniels, and I can't imagine telling Brady, watch the guy down.
Well, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
this is what happens.
Just before, you know, there's a time where they cut off the communication from the sidelines. Just before then, he hears in his ear, because they had noticed something with Atlanta's defense, to watch for this certain situation, which he found, boom, and he hits them. Now, Johnny Unitas had to figure that out on his own, or Otto Graham, or those guys. There was nobody
Marino,
even Marino, you know. So I think we have time for one more question before we do the rest of our... Sure.